My name is Maribel A. Hensley, and I was 28 years old when my boyfriend kissed another woman for 10 seconds in our living room while thousands of people watched live. When I confronted him, he looked at me like I was some annoying fan and said, "Don't make this weird. It was just a kiss for content." I didn't argue. I went into our bedroom, started packing, and moved out before his live stream even ended. Mason and I had been together for 3 years. He was 26 and an up-and-coming lifestyle influencer. Challenges, travel videos, sponsorships, couple content, the whole thing. I was a freelance graphic designer, which meant my schedule was flexible enough to become the invisible machinery behind his career. I edited his videos for free, fixed his lighting, designed thumbnails, ran the technical side of his live streams. When a sponsorship fell through and he needed a better camera, I loaned him money from my savings. He promised to repay me. Eventually, that became our investment in the brand. I even turned down a stable full-time design job because Mason said traveling for collaborations would be harder if I had fixed office hours. At the time, I thought supporting someone you loved was normal. Looking back, I wasn't his partner. I was unpaid production staff who occasionally appeared in couple videos. We met at a coffee shop. I was sketching logos on my tablet while Mason filmed some day-in-my-life reel. He noticed my work and asked whether he could feature it. We started talking. He was exciting, ambitious, funny. I was the steady one. I planned, saved, built things carefully. For a while, we balanced each other. Then his audience grew. And slowly, Mason changed. Date nights became optional if a collaboration appeared. My work became something he expected rather than appreciated. Then Jenna entered the picture. She was another influencer. Perfect gym photos, sponsored outfits, expensive-looking travel content, and a smile that always seemed slightly smug. Mason talked about her constantly. Jenna understands how to push content. Jenna's fearless. Jenna knows what goes viral. Sometimes I wondered whether he was complimenting her or criticizing me. Then he started posting skits about boring girlfriends. Guess who always ended up somewhere in the background? Me. His followers loved it. Mason needs an upgrade. Maribel is holding him back. I told myself it was just the algorithm. Then came the live stream. Mason had planned a huge collaboration with Jenna inside our apartment. The theme was flirty relationship challenges. Apparently, I wasn't on brand enough, so Mason wanted Jenna pretending to be his partner for the viewers. "It's acting, babe," he said. "Don't get jealous." I stayed in the bedroom working on a client project. Then I heard the audience screaming through the speakers. Curiosity got me. I stepped into the hallway. Mason and Jenna were sitting close together beneath the ring lights. Thousands of comments flew across the screen. Then somebody sent a paid dare. "Kiss for 10 seconds. Make it steamy." Mason laughed. Jenna smiled. And without even looking toward the bedroom where his actual girlfriend was sitting, Mason leaned in. It wasn't a playful peck. His hand went around her waist. Jenna grabbed the back of his neck. 10 seconds suddenly looked incredibly long. The chat exploded. "OMG. Yes. Couple goals." Then other comments started appearing. "Wait. Doesn't Mason have a girlfriend? Where's Maribel?" I stepped into view. Mason finally noticed me and paused the stream. That didn't look like content. He rolled his eyes. "Oh my God. Maribel. Don't make this weird." I stared at him. "It was just a kiss for content. Jenna and I are collaborating. If you're going to act possessive, that's your problem." Jenna leaned back against our couch and smirked. Mason continued. "My career comes first right now. If you can't handle a little fun for views, maybe you're not built for this life." Then he unpaused the stream. "Sorry, guys." He laughed toward the camera. "Girlfriend drama." Something inside me went completely still. I walked into the bedroom, pulled my suitcase from the closet, and started packing while his audience could still hear him laughing in the next room. I packed quietly. That was the part people online later found funniest. While Mason and Jenna kept laughing under those ring lights, acting like they were the hottest couple on the internet, I was 20 feet away folding shirts into a duffel bag. laptop, design tablet, hard drives, camera equipment that belonged to me, important documents, clothes, anything sentimental, anything I had paid for personally and didn't trust Mason to suddenly decide was part of the brand. I made 3 trips to my car. The first time, nobody noticed. The second time, I heard the live stream chat reacting. Wait, is Maribel carrying bags? Bro, I think she's leaving. Did Mason seriously kiss Jenna while his girlfriend was home? Mason laughed nervously. You guys are reading too much into everything. I kept walking. By the third trip, the mood inside the live stream had changed. Jenna was still smiling, but it looked tighter now. Comments were flying faster. Maribel is actually moving out. Mason, go check on your girlfriend. This is messed up. Unsubbing. I stood in the bedroom doorway for one last second. The room looked strange without my desk equipment and clothes. 3 years reduced to empty hangers and a charger Mason would probably assume I forgot. I heard him say from the living room, "Anyway, guys, don't let relationship drama kill the vibe." Relationship drama. That was what I had become. I picked up my final box and walked out. Mason didn't notice I was completely gone until after the live stream ended. By then, I was halfway across town. I stayed with my friend Mike. He opened the door, looked at the luggage behind me, then at my face. What happened? Mason kissed Jenna on live stream. Mike blinked. In front of you? In our apartment. He stepped aside immediately. You're staying here. That night, my phone exploded. Mason, where are you? Then, why is half your stuff gone? Then, Maribel, come on. It was content. I blocked him. His creator friends started reaching out next. One messaged, "You're killing his momentum over one fake kiss. Don't be insecure." Another wrote, "Mason's freaking out. You need to talk to him before this becomes a bigger scandal." That sentence told me everything. They weren't worried about our relationship. They were worried about the scandal. Then Mason's mother emailed me. He says you stormed out over a harmless live stream challenge. You know how sensitive he is about his career. Please come to dinner and talk this out like adults. Sensitive. Interesting word for someone who had publicly called my humiliation girlfriend drama. I didn't reply. The next week, I contacted the design firm whose full-time offer I had rejected the previous year. I expected them to say the position was gone. Instead, the creative director said, "Actually, we've got something better open. Remote, stable salary, benefits, real clients." And nobody expected me to edit influencer videos at 2 in the morning for free. I accepted. I rented a studio apartment and started over. At first, it felt brutally empty. Then, the emptiness became quiet. Then the quiet became peace. Meanwhile, Mason's livestream clip went viral. Just not how he wanted. People reposted the kiss. Then they reposted the moment I appeared in the background carrying boxes. Someone edited the two together with the caption, "Influencer kisses collaborator for views. Girlfriend moves out before stream ends." Millions of views. But the comments weren't celebrating Mason. They were destroying him. She didn't even argue. That's how you know she was done. Imagine calling your girlfriend drama after cheating live. Maribel packed faster than his apology came. Followers started dropping. Then a sponsor quietly removed Mason from an upcoming campaign. Another brand postponed a collaboration. And Jenna? 3 days after the backlash peaked, she posted a video alone. "Just clearing something up," she said. "Mason and I are only collaborators. I don't support relationship drama, and I'm focusing on my own content." Only collaborators. That 10-second kiss suddenly meant nothing to her, too. Mason called me from a new number that night. I answered by mistake. "Maribel, please," he said. "Everything's falling apart." I looked around my new apartment, my laptop, my work, my silence. For the first time, his emergency didn't feel like mine. "I know," I said. Then I hung up. And that was when Mason finally realized losing me might cost him more than a girlfriend. Mason's online world kept cracking after that. I wasn't stalking his pages. I had unfollowed everything connected to him, but mutual friends kept sending me screenshots because the live stream had become a minor internet spectacle. The kiss clip spread everywhere. So did the moment I walked through the background carrying boxes while Mason laughed into the camera about girlfriend drama. People weren't buying his explanation anymore. His follower count dropped by thousands. A makeup brand he had been teasing for weeks quietly removed him from a campaign. Another sponsor posted some vague statement about only partnering with creators who reflected respectful community values. Then Jenna's image started collapsing too. Former collaborators came forward saying she exaggerated sponsorships, borrowed expensive products for photos, and presented temporary brand arrangements like major contracts. Worse, people started leaking messages showing how she treated Mason once the backlash began. One screenshot read, "Your drama is killing my engagement. Stop tagging me." Another, "This was supposed to help both our channels, not turn me into the villain." Apparently, Jenna had loved Mason when their chemistry generated views. She liked him much less when those views came with consequences. Within weeks, she cut him off almost completely. That was when Mason started coming after me harder. Unknown numbers, emails, voicemails. "Maribel, please. I know I messed up. Then, Jenna was using me. Then, you were the stable one. I didn't understand how much I needed that. Needed. That word bothered me. Not loved. Needed." About 2 months after the breakup, somebody gave Mason my new address. I still don't know who. One evening, I had just finished a client call when someone started pounding on my door. I checked the peephole. Mason. He looked awful. Messy hair. Red eyes. No influencer polish. I opened the door only a few inches. "What are you doing here? Please let me in." "No. Maribel, come on, I need to explain." "You've had months." His face tightened. "Jenna turned out to be horrible." "That's unfortunate." "She screamed at me. Tried to control what I posted. Then she blocked me when sponsors started leaving." I waited. "My channel's tanking. I had to move back with my parents." Then his voice softened. "I miss us." There it was. "We were good together." "No, Mason." I looked at him. "I was good to you." He flinched. "You know what I mean. I edited your videos, fixed your streams, loaned you money for equipment, rearranged my career around your collaborations. I appreciate that now." "Now?" His eyes filled. "I was stupid. You were comfortable humiliating me when you thought Jenna and the audience mattered more." "It was one kiss." I almost laughed. "You still call it one kiss." He stepped closer to the doorway. "Please, I need you." "For what?" He didn't answer fast enough. "Editing?" "No." "Money?" "No." "Someone to keep your life organized while you chase whatever gets views?" His expression changed. "You're being cruel." "No. I'm asking the question you should have asked yourself before coming here." He started crying. "We can rebuild everything." "I already rebuilt." I closed the door. A minute later, my phone started buzzing from another unknown number. "You think you're so special now?" Then, Jenna was right. "You're boring." There was the real Mason. His remorse lasted exactly as long as he thought it might get him what he wanted. I blocked the number. After that, I stopped doubting myself completely. My design job had become something bigger. The company moved me onto a major tech account, and I started creating graphic design tutorials online in my spare time. Nothing flashy, no fake couples, no humiliating anyone for engagement, just useful content. Slowly, people started watching. 1,000 subscribers became 5,000, then 10. For the first time, something online belonged entirely to me. Around then, I met Liam through a professional workshop. He worked in digital marketing but somehow had no interest in turning every moment into content. Our first date lasted 3 hours because we forgot to check the time. He listened when I spoke. He didn't compare me to anyone. And when I eventually told him about Mason, he didn't ask why I hadn't forgiven him. He just said, "Sounds like leaving was the healthiest thing you could have done." Months later, a mutual friend invited me to her engagement party. I knew Mason might be there. I almost declined. Then I looked at Liam sitting across from me, helping choose between two jackets like this was the most normal problem in the world. I smiled. I'm going. 6 months after that live stream, Mason was finally going to see me again. Only this time, I wasn't standing behind his camera. And I wasn't part of his content anymore. The engagement party was on a rooftop downtown, the kind of place with string lights overhead, soft music, and enough creators in one room that everyone seemed to be checking whether someone else was filming. I arrived with Liam. For the first time in months, I didn't feel like somebody's background character. I wasn't carrying camera equipment. I wasn't checking audio levels. I wasn't watching another person's follower count. I was just there. Mason was standing near the bar when we walked in. I saw the exact moment he noticed me. His eyes moved from my face to Liam's hand resting lightly at the small of my back. Then Mason looked away like he had been burned. I didn't approach him. I spent the first hour talking to friends, laughing, eating overpriced appetizers, and enjoying the strange realization that people could talk to me without asking when Mason's next upload was scheduled. Eventually, Liam went inside to grab us drinks. That was when Mason appeared beside me. Maribel. I turned. He looked diminished. Not physically ruined or dramatically broken, just smaller somehow. The polished creator persona was gone. His clothes were simpler. His eyes looked exhausted. Hey, can we talk? I don't think we need to. Please, 5 minutes. I glanced toward Liam through the glass doors. He saw us. I gave him a small nod. He stayed where he was. Mason and I moved toward the far end of the rooftop. For a few seconds, he said nothing. Then he exhaled. I messed up. Yes. He winced. Jenna destroyed me. There it was again. Jenna. Not his choices. Not what he did to me. She used me. He continued. The sponsors disappeared. My channel's barely bringing anything in. I had to move back with my parents. I heard. He looked embarrassed. I'm trying to rebuild. That's good. His voice lowered. I realize now that you were the real thing. I almost laughed. What does that mean? You were there before any of this. You helped me edit. You believed in me. You kept everything grounded. Grounded. Another word for boring, apparently, once you lost it. I miss that. You miss what I did for you. No. Mason, you came to my apartment and told me you needed me because Jenna abandoned you. That's not fair. It's exactly what happened. He stepped closer. I miss you, Maribel. I looked at him. 6 months earlier, those words would have destroyed me. Now, I felt almost nothing. We could start over, he said. Slowly. I know I hurt you. You kissed another woman in our home while thousands of people watched. It was supposed to be content. And when I told you it hurt, you called me possessive. His face tightened. I was under pressure. You restarted the live stream. He looked away. You called me girlfriend drama while I packed. I know. You didn't even notice I was gone until the stream ended. Silence. That was the part he couldn't explain. Because there was no explanation. He hadn't noticed because the audience mattered more. Mason glanced toward Liam. So you're serious with him? This isn't about Liam. It kind of is. No. You lost me before I ever met him. His desperation sharpened. You really think he's better than me? I think he respects me. That landed. Mason's face changed. Come on. You know relationships aren't perfect. I never asked for perfect. I stepped back. I asked not to be publicly humiliated for engagement. His voice cracked. Maribel, please. I remembered the sentence he had thrown at me during the live stream, and suddenly the response came easily. Don't make this weird. He stared at me. It was just a relationship for your content, right? That's not fair. You said I wasn't cut out for your life. I was wrong. Yes. I'm admitting that. Good. Learn from it. His eyes filled. So, that's it? Yes. His sadness turned to anger almost instantly. You've gotten really cold. There was the mask slipping again. You think this new channel makes you special? I smiled faintly. No. I looked through the glass doors where Liam was waiting without interrupting. I think finally understanding my own value makes me harder to use. Mason didn't answer. I turned away. Goodbye. Liam handed me my drink when I returned. You okay? Yeah. He didn't ask for details. We stayed at the party. Mason left early. And that was the closure I never knew I needed. Not watching his career fall apart. Not Jenna abandoning him. Not sponsors disappearing. The real ending was realizing that his desperation no longer had the power to rearrange my life. He had called betrayal content. He had made me a prop. So I removed myself from the production. Now my work is mine. My home is mine. My relationship with Liam is private where it should be, and celebrated where it matters. And Mason? He's just somebody I used to date.